Okay, it's Sunday morning. I'm out here at Pomona Auto Swap Meet. It's actually the first time they're doing the swap meet since all this madness started last year. So it's very packed. It took a long time for me to get in the parking lot, and then it took me a long time to get into the gate. But we're in here. This is probably going to be more like a highlight reel instead of one of those where I just go and film everything, because there's just way too much stuff here to see. And I do want to get through the show cars and be able to actually go through some of the parts section, because I have to pick up my kid a little bit later. So I'd like to get some of that done, see what I want to see, and then go. But we're going to bring you along with us, and so let's go check everything out. Okay, so I came in the entrance, and when you come in here, like the first thing you see is like the Volkswagen parts section. And then across the way, they've got all the Volkswagen cars that are for sale, and some of them are just for show. Some people actually just bring stuff out here just to show it off. So I'm going to try to do as much highlight stuff, and I know they've got like a Corvette section, and they do like a Mustang section, and it kind of goes back. You can look on their website. It's $15 to park, $15 to get in, or if you go to the other entrance on the other side, if you have a classic car that fits their criteria, it's like $30 to get in. So it's actually the same price if you want to show a car. I almost brought my Mustang, but since I have to pick up my kid later, I brought the Marquis and parked it in the lot. So let's go check out what's here. I'm just going to do a quick sweep through here in the Volkswagen car section. A lot of interesting stuff. One thing I will say about Pomona is generally the prices are higher than what you pay like on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. But the nice thing is there's just like anything you can imagine is here, and it's really like a place to go look for cars, I guess, and look for parts. But if you're looking for the deals, I would say stick to the internet, because you can still find stuff. But I mean, just a sea of like eye candy out here. So, all right. So when you come in, you actually the cars, the show cars and sale cars come in the other gate. So they're generally rolling through here for a while until it kind of fills up, because it's still early in the morning. It's just after 7 o'clock. And they go in and fill in their respective areas. But there's always stuff coming in or coming out of this place, including this 64 Impala. But I mean, this place is huge. If you've never been out here, you really should come out here and check it out. Check out, there's a Ranchero on a trailer for sale. So I bet it's a lot more than I paid for mine. You know, mine's a, it doesn't have a price on it. All right, well, I had to shoot this. It's basically a GM Body club. So a lot of Monte Carlos, Cutlasses. I think there's like a Hurst Olds there, the Grand Nationals, stuff like that. All in one place here. Not sure if any of these are for sale, but these guys come out, they have a barbecue, have a club meeting, and show off all their G-bodies. And there's a bunch of them here. They also have project cars here. This one's a 59 Chevy Impala Convertible, which could be yours for $78,000. Looks like something they might have got out of Midwest or something like that. It really doesn't say. But, wow, it's even got a Mustang shifter in it. Yeah, it's like it's been sitting a few years, but wow, $78,000 for a very, very nice project 59 Impala. Okay, here's a 65 Dodge D100 with a service bed. This one says it's got a Cummins in it, so it's been modernized on the drivetrain. Could be yours for $46,000 according to the sign in the window. No comment. But it's cool. It's got the old BF Goodrich tire service stuff on the side from Mar Vista. It's actually not far from where I grew up. That address. I'm thinking that's original, because look, it's faded, unless they did a really nice job of like fading it out. But I guess underneath the frame and everything's been modernized, and they left the top all patinaed. So it's sort of an interesting hot rod, but kind of cool. Look at the interior. It's got a 5-speed transmission in it. There's a cool, almost malaise station wagon. It's a 71 Chevy Kingswood. It says it's got a 350 crate engine for $13,500. This could be a well-kept example. It's got a custom steering wheel in it. I believe these had the wood on the bottom, but it looks like the wood, I think that would break up the wood strip. I'm not sure on the, I'm pretty sure the Kingswood came with wood, if you know what I mean. These are the clamshell wagons, where the glass goes up and the tailgate goes down. So you don't see these very often anymore. Unfortunately, a lot of these were lost in demolition derbies over the years until now when they're starting to become more collectible. Like the plastic here is rotting from the sun from over the years. I can't imagine those are too easy to find. Maybe from a Midwest or a back east car where it's not as sunny. But overall, it's a well-kept example of a interesting early 70s station wagon. Here's one that's straight out of a barn, old Model A with a small block Chevy. Looks like it's like a late 60s or 70s hot rod. Could be yours for $20,000. Very much of the era, including with the bias ply tires and the wire spoke wheels. And it's like the wood rotted away from the wheel, steering wheel there. Under dash gauges, straight out of a barn. Come around the back, looks like it was last tagged in 1983, so it's been sitting for quite a few years. Obviously not running, but it could be a fun project for someone. I found a pair of cool old school vans because we know we got a lot of van guys that watch my channel with all my van content. So this one's actually a second gen Econoline. Looks like I think it's a shorty. This one's got the slot mags on it. It's asking $10,000 for it. And it looks like it's got like some old school custom paint on there. This one's a dual tanker, so it's got the tank there and there. And this one's like the full panel with the full panel back. Last tagged in 2014. And he's even got the wheel flares that are kind of molded in there. That's got another tank over here. So he's got all kinds of gas tanks going on there. This one's actually a long base. This isn't a short wheelbase because of where the door sets. He's also got a Dodge A108 here. Window van. He's asking $15,000 on that. It's like he uses it to haul Harley stuff around, which are a good use for these, for hauling old motorcycles and scooters and mini bikes and stuff around. So he's asking $15K on this one. This one's actually currently tagged, so there's that. And it also looks like it's being driven. It's got the Kragers on it with the white leather tires. So we did actually manage to find a few vans out here. So we'll keep looking for some more. Actually, there's another second gen over there. Now, here's the other second gen we found. This one's a 73 200 series. It's got a 289 in it. He's asking $15,000 for it. So this one's actually the 3/4 ton, since it's the 200 series. It's like it was part of a van club in San Dimas back in the day. It's got later like Ford Ranger wheels on it. Looks pretty clean though. I really need to get back to working on my 73, which is a 100 shorty. It needs to be built out inside yet, but it's got the drink holders and the captain's chairs in there, probably swiveling. But overall, pretty clean van. All right, we got to show some Rambler stuff. Here's a 62 Rambler American Wagon. Could be yours for $11,500. Looks to be pretty original. It's got the Mexican blankets covering the interior. This will be a 3 on the tree, so with the flathead 6 in it. But it's all there and it's straight. I haven't seen this one around. This guy's not a member of the SoCal Rambler Club or anything, so. But still, you know, good starting point. There's another neat orphan car. This is a 58 Edsel Bermuda station wagon, complete with the hooded horse collar mirror there. Kind of neat because it's coral and white. I had a 58 Ranger two-door hardtop that was single-tone coral, this color. I don't know how many years ago, but yours for $12,500. This is probably one of the better priced cars we've seen here. All the other ones seem to have been kind of expensive. And this one appears to be very original. So he says originally this was in Central California, and then it moved to Mississippi, and now it's back in California again. It says it's a great cruiser. So said it is all there, and if you're looking to redo a Edsel Bermuda, this is like a really good one, or just leave it original like it is with the patina, because these are kind of scarce. Being in the Edsel Club for many years, I know how hard these are to find. With the this is sort of their version of the Country Squire with the fake wood on the side. But wow, what a neat find here. Here's a neat original 51 Mercury two-door. Could be yours for $85,000. That's not a misprint. 53,000 original miles, but there's no paint, just all patinaed. It's super straight. I actually had a 51 Mercury four-door, but it was rustier than hell, and I paid $300 for it. It looks like about what you would get for $300 in a 51 Mercury. This one seems to be in much better condition though. All right, I got to do any cool forward look car I find, and this one's one of the cooler ones. This is a 57 Chrysler 300C two-door hardtop, so it's got the Hemi in it. This one's got new white walls. Looks like it just came out of storage, and it's all there, which is the trick on these cars, because a lot of stuff is hard to find. They're asking $29,000 for it, which that's probably one of the more reasonably priced cars I've seen here. It's got a little ding there. It's like just sat in a garage, stuff fell on it, things like that. Interior's there, but these are extremely scarce rare automobiles. These are the ones they used for NASCAR on Daytona Beach, and kind of a cool rare forward look car from 1957. Here's a really neat one. It's a Nash Metropolitan sitting on a Suzuki Samurai chassis, and it's completely rhino lined, but two-tone rhino lined. So that's pretty awesome. So it's got all the Suzuki Samurai running gear and the 4-speed and everything, and of course it's 4-wheel drive. Kind of a neat use for a Nash Metropolitan body. And it's kind of neat. I always like seeing custom Nash Metropolitans, because these you can still pick them up for a reasonable price, ones that aren't running or missing stuff. And this is actually I think it's a pretty cool use, and it'd be a cool one to like take on like a Lemons rally, or take to Concourse de Lemons or something like that. But sort of an interesting custom Metropolitan. All right, next to the Metropolitan, I had to shoot this 59 Studebaker Silverhawk. Looks like it's like straight out of somebody's backyard. Might not be from a barn because it's pretty faded. The paint is, but it's all there. It's $12,500. Looks like he drove it in here, so it must be running and driving. But I always like the fins on these. Studebaker had some really interesting designs back then, back in the 50s and early 60s. They kind of didn't really make it to the late 60s though. Yeah, I don't remember this from when I used to come here years ago, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning. They have a place for you to drink, just in case you can't afford any of these cars. So 8 o'clock in the morning, you can actually have some alcohol here at the Pomona Auto Swap Meet. That's new to me, because like I said, I have not been to the swap meet in many years. There's one that's sold already, so maybe it was a good deal. This is an old Econoline pickup truck. I don't know what they were asking for, because I didn't get it early enough, but it was $5,000, so actually it wasn't that bad. The body looks pretty straight. It's got the tailgate, which these are usually missing. It's a little bit of rust on the bottom there, but That's actually not a bad price for one of these with the tailgate that's usually missing. And this is one that does not have the utility bed stuff on the side, which a lot of them did. So, but man, this is a pretty straight, almost rust-free Econoline pickup truck. What a neat rig, and that'll be a cool build for somebody. All right, if you like Corvettes, they got you covered with the Corvette section. As vehicles still rolling in here at 8 o'clock. It's a 57 Corvette factory fuel injected car. Could be yours for $125,000. Says it's a numbers matching car. Looks like it might be a little bit of an older restoration. Obviously he drove it here, but obviously these are scarce high dollar cars. Ooh, check out the rust on that Chevy Convertible. Ready for someone to rebuild it. Now, as long as I can remember, they have had the Corvette section here. I mean, I used to come in probably the early 90s, the very early 90s. Now it's a lot more of like late model Corvettes, though. Back then you see a lot more of 50s, 60s, even into early 70s stuff. But still, there's some gems here. Still some older Corvettes for sale. So generally, if you're in SoCal and you're looking for like a vintage Stingray or something like that, just like this one, it's a good place to come. It's a cool 62. Another 62, that white one there. Oh, it's a trio of 62s. I always liked the burgundy ones. I always thought that was a pretty color on the 62s. One that's fuel injected. Not sure if it was original fuel injected car, but it's been modified since. $82,500. As the cars keep rolling in. I don't think this one's for sale. This is a really cool 70s half-ton Chevy van with the slot mags. It's got the pop-up sunroof and the gull-wing door on the side. Looks like it's an old custom. It's got the how fat those meats are there. I don't think I've ever seen this van around any of the van meets. It's got the cool diamond quarter window with the pop-out back windows. Just a really cool custom van from the 70s. All right, in the serious projects, check out this Dodge Charger. Looks like it's kind of left for dead many years ago. It's got a lot of questionable body work that had been done over the years. It's like lots of Bondo covering rust. Probably someone's drag car. Look, the top's got a lot of holes in it and things like that. These are big dollar cars now. If you've ever seen that YouTube channel Junker Up, you'll know that dude takes ones that are worse than this and rebuilds them. So this one is probably rebuildable, and they're a very expensive car when they're redone. This quarter is worse than the other side. It says it came out of Oklahoma. So, man, definitely a serious project for somebody, but I'm sure it's worth it to redo it. So, nothing here. There's no signs on it saying how much or what the deal is with it, but interesting to see nonetheless. Now, here's that Chevy Convertible we saw rolling in that was pretty rusty. It's like an early 50s deluxe. $12,000, and it's pretty Swiss cheesy there, and I'm sure the floors are completely wasted. Now, fortunately, there's a lot of parts cars for these out there, a lot of 2- and 4-door parts cars, so stuff like the deck lid. I'm hoping that deck lid isn't a convertible only, because that might be a little tough if it is, but if it's the same as a 2- or 4-door, you'll be able to find it. But man, this thing has definitely seen better days, and it's looking for a new home. Let's check out the inside, see if we got Flintstone floorboards. I can't see in there, but yeah, this one's looking a little sad there. All right, well, according to this guy, this is a 54 Mercury is a Barris custom that was pinstriped by Von Dutch. He's asking $35,000 for it. Looks like it was an older one. See the paint starting to chip on it. Maybe it's sat in a garage for many years. It's got the old chrome reverse wheels on it. This is non-op, clean title, all the certificates from George Barris. French headlights, taillights, 312 wide block, and he Von Dutch pinstriped the dash, which of course he's got a big for sale sign so you can't see it. I'll come around the other side though. That's pretty interesting. So if he has all the documentation on it, who knows? Looks like it was maybe one of the ones that was done a little later. Maybe a shot inside. Not much going on in the interior, so definitely a project for someone to finish up. But with all the documentation, who knows, especially with George Barris' shop. They recently closed the shop and they're selling the building over in North Hollywood. So George Barris is in the news lately, so maybe there will be some interest in this cool custom Mercury. All right, definitely try to bring you the most interesting stuff I find. This one is definitely interesting. This is a 59 NSU Prinz microcar coming to you from Germany. Don't see these very often, and when you see them, they're usually like in some field or something, and most of the stuff's missing. This one looks fairly complete. He's asking $16,000 for it, but with the way microcar prices have been going, he might actually get it. I used to have a BMW Isetta and I had a Vespa 400. And unfortunately, the prices of those have kind of gone pretty sky high since. But like I said, not something you see every day. It's right here at the Pomona swap meet. There's the 56 Thunderbird. Looks like it's been sitting around probably since the 70s, judging by the wheels and the mustard color. I'd say it was a restoration. It was done a long time ago. It's got an old vehicle inspection from the Highway Patrol, so it's a California car. Yeah, it's very, very 70s looking restoration, but definitely a good starter for a build for somebody. Here's probably the cheapest one I've found here. This is a 1950 Studebaker. It says motor turns $1,500 or best offer. That's right, $1,500. Yeah, this is it looks pretty solid. Like nice patina. I'm pretty sure this guy's gonna sell this one today because that price, man, whew, that's not terrible. It's probably got a title. It's got probably a 90s issue California license plate. Starts with a 3, but it's mostly there. It's got a little bit of rust. Nothing terrible. It says it turns. No word if it has compression or anything. It's got a race number on the side, so you know it's fast. And you have the interior. Looks like the seats are the seats need a little bit on the upholstery side, but it's there and it's not terribly, a little bit of rust, nothing terrible, but it's probably the cheapest car I've seen out here other than like a toy car, and it's a Studebaker. There's a neat Ford Unibody pickup. This one's actually a short bed. Now you never see the short beds in these. Usually they're long bed. It's an F100. And it's got the 6-cylinder in it, the straight 6. So I'm guessing it's a manual transmission, which it is. It's on the floor. But very original looking truck. Not something you see very often. It does have a little bit of a farm bumper on the back, and but it does have the original tailgate. It's all there and it's pretty straight. All right, here's kind of a really odd one. This is a 1927 Dodge Brothers delivery. So this is like for delivering groceries and stuff like that. Could be yours for $3,900. And it looks like it's just been sitting out in the desert for many years. It's got a license plate frame from Barstow on it. So maybe they lived out in the Barstow area, which is pretty dry. But definitely a major project for somebody, but something you just don't ever see anymore. Wow, for $50,000 you could have this 1965 Chrysler Imperial, which all I can say is very custom. It's got a lot of interesting touches on it, including a sunroof, a Landau bar, a skeleton in there, complete with phone holders. It's got little vents, looks like they're off of like a 70s Lincoln. A trunk rack. So it's definitely been J.C. Whitney'd up. could be yours for only $50,000. Okay, so that's going to wrap things up here at the Pomona Swap Meet, the first one they've done since all the nonsense back in 2020. I try to bring you some of the cool, more obscure stuff that's here. I mean, there's no way I could even make a dent in showing you like all the cars here. But I try to bring you some of the more interesting stuff that I did find. Next week I'm off to the San Marino Classic Car Show, which is like more like concours stuff, so it's going to be like super nice, super rare stuff. I'm going to that next Sunday, and I should be bringing you a video from that. I already got my ticket for it, and then we'll be bringing you hopefully some more updates on some of the project cars. But until next time, I'll be seeing you.